Good evening, croeso noswaith dda, and welcome to Core and Restore at the end of week 6. So each week in Core and Restore, we do a back care kind of class. And today we're going to be doing some relaxation at the end, which is why I've asked you to wear warm layers. The relaxation technique is called progressive muscle relaxation and has some really good kind of evidence behind it in terms of pain management. As you all know, I suffered for 2 years with what's known as chronic pain, i.e. pain that doesn't exist, or pain that feels worse than it is, and sometimes it's emotional pain. Don't ask, it freaked my head out, but I do appreciate and understand that when you're in pain, sometimes it's really hard to get into a relaxed state. Part of this is going to be a breathing technique. So we're going to practice the breathing technique at the beginning. We're then going to do what I would call a standard back care class, the thing that I teach in my class every single week. And I call it Groundhog Day. And the reason that we do the same thing time and time again is to do with motor fitness, okay? M-O-T-O-R, but not to do with a motor car, but to do with a motor neuron. So the motor neuron is the nerve that targets the muscle to make it work. And when we are in chronic pain, this nerve is always tapping that nerve to make it contract and work, even when you're in a relaxed state. So it's all about calming down the nervous system. And even if you don't have any back issues, if you listen to the talk on cholesterol, you'll know that being stressed really influences your cholesterol levels. So you can use this as a method of de-stressing. I usually do one of these sessions every single cafe in order that you can, if at any point you want to do something, you do that. So we're going to start standing because you really need to check your posture in a standing position. When we go down onto the floor, I'm going to leave you on the floor and I'm going to stand up to talk, through the relaxation, because otherwise if I'm on the floor down there, I shout, and you don't want that kind of tone of voice. You want a more relaxed tone of voice. So look forwards and enjoy this. Here we go. All right. So we have to, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. We have to do a posture check before we start, especially when we're doing back care. And we always start with the feet. So I want you to lift your toes off the floor just a little bit. Feel that stretch underneath your feet. Keep all your toes off the floor and put just your big toes down and keep your toes up. Then reverse it. Lift your big toes and place your toes onto the floor. Then you're just going to wiggle a little bit through the feet, lifting and working through the ankle and the back of the heel, along with underneath the foot. This bit is about taking the weight to the front of the foot as if you're going to fall over, and then taking the weight to the back of the foot. So you want to take the weight to the front of the foot and then to the back of the foot. And then you want to find a place where you feel fairly settled. Place the hands onto the front of the pelvis and push into the front of the pelvis here. Stand up tall, lift your rib cage up and let the shoulders relax down. Arms are by your side, slight gap between your arm and your body, and then pull your chin in. So remember, hand on your chin, hands on your belly. When your chin comes in, you'll feel how the stomach muscles draw in, and that's what supports the spine. Okay, so sometimes when we've got back pain, we're in this position, and it's actually causing more stress through the back, which is why people wear a brace, because the brace is supposed to act like your stomach muscles. So this is the breathe-in technique. You're going to do a breath in, and where we pause at the top, you're going to do 2 quick breaths in, okay? So it goes breath in, then you go in, then you go breath out, and then you go, okay? So it's breath in, in. Breath out. Breath out, out. Breath in. Breath in. Breath out. Breath out, out. You're going to start circling the shoulders. Remember, the shoulder has 4 phases. Forward, up, back and down. And I want you to pay attention to the down position. So that when you take the arm, it rests away from your shoulder, yeah, and down. And you don't just do a small movement. Same thing with the elbow, comes away from the body and back in. So think of the elbow coming away from the body and back into the waist. Lifting that arm up slightly higher and bringing it in. Try not to move the rest of the body on this. You just want to take your time. Same thing with the full arm. Extend and reach. Now, if you've got any shoulder issues, just go back to the bent arm. When you're here, lift up tall and then release. And then again. Okay, semi-forearms, tuck your head in and then open the chest wide. Remember, you want to work through the upper body, opening and closing through the front of the chest. As you open your arms wide, extend right the way through to the ends of your little finger. And then release. Taking your right foot forward, we're going to come into swing and sway. You want to push and stand up tall. You want to sway back and do that toe lift. So when you come forward, opposite arm. When you come back, thumb up. So you pull one arm back and reach one arm forwards. Keeping that moving. 2 more goes. Well done, everybody. One more time. If we can do it. And then recover. Change over to the other side. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Get your balance. So it's a bit of swing and sway. Reach as you come forward and pull. Try and get your breathing to match your arm movements. And again. And then release. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the floor now. I'm going to just tilt this down. So that we are pointing down to the floor. You will need a fully inflated ball and a band. I have a towel for my head. If you want a towel, please do so. Okay? And then we're going to take our time coming down onto the floor. Now, when you're down onto the floor, you need to make sure that you're still for around 30 seconds to a minute without moving to let your back settle in. So you can sort your stuff out and then you're going to lie down. All right, so we're going to do an internal release of the muscles on the inside of the pelvis. Your thumbs are going to touch and your fingertips are going to touch. And that triangle part is in the lower part of your abdominal area, lower than your belly button. You're going to let your elbows relax down. You're going to take a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're going to allow the hands to feel like a heavy hot stone that's going to press towards your lower back area. You don't want to push it hard. You want to feel it like a hot stone sitting on your belly. Take a breath in. And then on the out breath, let that feel heavy and release tension into your lower back. We've got one more time. Deep breath in. And then that slow breath out. Okay, you're going to take your arms out in line with your shoulders with the backs of your hands onto the floor. And you're going to step your feet out slightly wider. The aim of this is to look at the hip mobility. So you're going to drop your right leg away from your body and bring it back up. Then you're going to drop your left leg away from your body and then bring it back up. Okay, so it goes away from your body and it comes back up, and then again goes away from your body and comes back up. As you're doing this, see if you can tell the difference between your right hip joint and your left hip joint. Step your feet out wider again, and this time let the knee come inwards towards the mat and back up to the centre. Now if you've got a hip replacement, you want to go cautiously on this one, coming in, so this is internal rotation of the hip joint, and again, taking your time, and then you've got one more to do. And now we're going to do them both together. So one goes out, one goes in. Push your hands, breathe out when you bring your knees back up, and then go over to the other side. If you want to, you can turn your head slightly away, from the knees. And again, here we go. Take it out, and coming back in. Taking your time as you're doing that, nice and slowly. Don't have to rush. One more time. And then release. Okay, so we're going to stretch the lower back area asymmetrically. So we're only going to stretch on one side. With your arms here, you're going to try and lift the tailbone slightly off the mat and let the weight of the leg kind of feel like that heavy stone pushing onto your hip joint. Keep your chin tucked in, and then if you can, slide the other leg away, okay? So you're going to take a deep breath in, then as you breathe out, hug the knee towards your body, then release. Deep breath in, breath out and hug. So we're now going to do the other side. So place your foot down, bring the knee over, hug the knee to your chest, drop your shoulders down, slide the other leg out. Now, ideally, I want your calf down. If you find that this is happening or your chin is lifting up, put a pillow underneath your knee or just bend your knee, okay? Don't stress out the hip. Take a deep breath in, then breath out. Pull the knee towards your body, stretch on that one side of your body, and then release. And then again, deep breath in, and then breath out. Okay, bringing the knee in. This time, your feet and your knees are touching, and your arms are held directly over your chest. Now, your arm and your head aren't going to move. You're going to slowly take your knees to the side, and then up and over to the other side. Now this is working through the hip area, so you can go as far as you want until the side of the hip is towards the ceiling. When you're coming back, breathe out hard. If you find it too much, don't go so far over, okay? You don't have to go all the way to the floor. Keep your arms up towards the ceiling and breathe out as you come up. Now you might find there's some gapping as you're coming back up, that's fine. But if you can, when you're over the top here, try and keep your knees together. I always say, the minute your knees start parting company, come back up. The final one is your frog stretch. Now in this position, you want to have your hands on the inside of your thigh, push one knee to the floor and then push the other knee to the floor. Don't do this one still, okay? So the key to back care is to keep moving into the stretches, keeping that area warm. Okay, you're going to get the ball now, and you're going to place it underneath that pelvic area here. And the first thing you're going to do is to wriggle around. Now we're looking for your hips to be slightly higher than your lower back. If it feels uncomfortable, you can take the ball away. You, if possible, hands by your side and then bring your knees up and over your body. You can move the pelvis around. If you want to, you can have your legs up. You can can have splits, you can do anything with the legs, because you should find that you're quite well supported with your hands and your lower back onto that ball. Place one foot down and if possible, hug your knee in. Now if you find when you hug your knee in, you're wobbling too much, just hold your knee in position and slide the other leg away. And because the pelvis is slightly lifted, you're going to get more stretch through that hip. Take that foot across onto the opposite knee and just move that position, okay? You don't want to be static doing this one. Then release and change over. So either hold the knee or bring the knee in, keep the other knee bent, or if you want to, straighten the other leg out. Then if you can, bring your foot across onto the opposite knee and keep moving around. Lovely. Final one is the frog stretch. So again, you just want to roll gently. Don't have to do too much. Feet down, take the ball away. Let your body get used to that new change in position. You should feel it's released the tension into your lower back and your back feels a little bit more comfortable onto the floor. We're going to do dead bug arms and then we're going to go into single toe soldier arms. Shoulders are down in the dead bug arm position. So what I mean is you don't want your hands narrow with your shoulder off the floor. You're going to reach and extend and then you're going to change. Now if you can't touch the floor, don't panic. So if when you're here you can't reach, don't force your shoulder. Keep your chin tucked in and do your breath with the arm movements. If you're feeling happy that you can control the core and your back's not going to slide off the floor, slide the opposite leg away. Remember you want your calf to be down and then up and then slide the other leg away. Push through the heel and then up. And then again, nice and easy, taking your time, breathing nice and slowly. Keeping it going. Stretching out. You've got 2 more left to go. Keep thinking about keeping this area still, keeping your back still, only your arm and leg moving. Last one. Okay, so this time we're going to move the arms and legs in opposite direction in a flowing movement. So you're going to look to your arms and then you're going to flow across to the other side. Okay, if you can hear whistling, that's my husband. He's obviously happy to be home. Look towards your arms and move slowly. Okay, so you don't want to move quickly on this one. All right. Bring in this ball and you're going to take the ball higher than your kneecaps. Okay, so not between the knees, slightly up onto the thighs. We're going to use the ball to help connect through the pelvic floor and through the piriformis and obturator. Hands are down by your side. You're going to take a breath in and then as you breathe out, you're going to pressurize the ball. Now when you do that, you want to have the sensation that you are drawing your hip joints closer in and that you're hollowing your lower abs and then release. What you don't want to do is to lift your feet off the floor. So you go breath in, breath out, squeeze the ball, but as you're squeezing the ball, think about your hips rather than your knees, and think about squeezing the hips together. So if you're trying to get your hip joints to touch, or that they're like magnets really attracted towards each other, and then release. And again, deep breath in, breath out. Okay, if you're finding your back is in pain today, you keep doing that exercise. Otherwise, we're going to come into the bridge. Now, when we come into the bridge, you're going to use your hands onto the floor to push down and stabilise the upper body. And you're going to use the ball to stabilise into the pelvis, and you're going to use your abs to stabilise the spine. Don't let your feet lift or roll. Keep them pressed down firmly. You're going to take a breath in. Breath out, squeeze tighter through the pelvic floor and keep the pressure on the ball as you lift up. If your back feels dodgy, you can support your hips with your hands and then release down in one go, okay? So you don't roll. You want to think like a drawbridge. Your back is a whole unit moving as one. Take a breath in, breath out, squeeze and lift. Keep your chin tucked in and push your pelvis up. And then release down nice and steady. Okay, we're going to do 2 more of these. So you're going to go breath in, breath out, squeeze and lift. You want to feel that you're really connected through the pelvis, hip bones joining in, tailbone coming forwards, and then release down. Okay, taking the ball into your right hand. You're going to take your left arm up and you're going to stretch your right arm away. Yeah? And then you're going to bring this to touch your knee and you're going to take this arm back. Okay, so you're going to push the leg away, tap down to the floor, breath out, and you're going to tap the knee and reach that arm back. Now when you tap the knee, you want to push the ball against the knee and push the knee against the ball and then release the tension. And then one more time, up, push the ball against your knee, push the knee against the ball, and then release. Arm out to the side, look at the ball. Bring the ball up to the centre, use your fingers to crush the ball and to look at the ball. Okay, then come back up, turn and look at the ball, and then come back up and look at the ball. Now, when you're coming back up, you're going to keep the ball in your left hand and the right hand is coming up. Preparation is everything in Pilates. Breath in, breath out, stabilise. Feel like you're pushing against the ball. Crush the ball with your fingers. Float the leg up. Stretch the opposite arm and leg away from the body. Open the hip. Breath out. And again. Okay, so you're going to take that ball away. And this time you're going to push the ball to the knee and take the arm back. Okay, so you can come away from the body. Keep everything stable into the pelvis. This is about the motor skills of the abs. Okay, don't get fixated on moving your arm and your leg. Think everything here in the middle. Keep the control. Lovely. And then one more time. Here we go. Push away. Okay. And then release. Okay. So we're going to do a hamstring stretch. So you need your band for this, everybody. Band underneath your foot. Okay? First thing you want to do is to allow this kind of pulsing movement just to release. Now the other thing I want you to do is I want you to, I know it looks a bit weird, I want you to stroke the leg. Stroke your leg a little bit. Okay. So you're going to hold high or long arms, okay? So you're not going to hold like this, okay? Long arms, and you're going to bring the leg in, and then you're going to let the leg go. With the hands, you're going to grab hold of the band and pull in, and then let it go. One more time. Now, if you're finding this is irritating your sciatic nerve, okay, just ease off a little bit. If you feel okay, slide the other leg out. You're going to point and flex your foot a couple of times, and then you're going to take the leg out. Now, the opposite hand goes on the floor, and your shoulders do not come off the floor at all. You're going to use your hand to pull the band up, and your shoulders stay down. You're going to come back up to the centre. You're going to split the band, and you're going to do that pulsing movement, okay? When you're pulling in with your arms, you don't want your knee to bend. All right, so the minute you find your knees bending, go back down. So even if you're only working at this range, that's fine. Just don't make that knee bend, okay? Now, pull it all the way up into the stretch, okay? If you're comfortable, slide the other leg out. Arm out, shoulder down, leg away from the body. Take your time. Don't roll with it, okay? You only go to your range of movement. Then you come up and you swap hands, okay? Then you come back up to the centre and you're going to take the band off. So this is where we're going to start the relaxation. In the relaxation position, ideally we want the legs to be straight onto the floor. If you've got any lower back issues, keep the knee bent, and if you want to, put your towel where the ball was underneath that sacroiliac joint. Okay, so this is where I'm coming up to standing, so that I don't have to shout. What we're going to do is we're going to open and close the toes, just like we did in the beginning, all right? So you're going to stretch your toes out wide and release. And again. And then you're going to roll your feet in and out. So you want to try and think about the big toes coming together and then the feet rolling out. And you want it to be not only from the ankle, but you want to feel like you're turning all the way up towards the hip joint. Next thing you're going to do is push the backs of your heels, your calves, your thighs, and squeeze your butt muscles and feel like you're trying to press your body into the floor, and then let go. Then again, push the backs of your heels, your calves, your thighs, squeeze your butt, and then release. Let your legs just feel heavy. Okay, so you want to have that sensation that maybe you're lying on something soft. You'll notice the feet turn out and the leg muscle just softens a little bit. Push your back, your shoulders and the back of your head into the mat and then let go. Okay, so like we did with the legs, you can push your hips, your shoulders, your head, like you're trying to make a dent into the mat, and then release. Turn your head gently from the right to the left, letting the neck relax and then stopping where you feel comfortable. With your stomach, tighten your stomach as if you're getting into a tight pair of trousers and then let go. And then again, tighten, tighten, tighten and let go. And one more time and then release. Putting your hands back into that triangle position onto the lower abs. We're going to use that breathing technique that we did in the beginning. So you go breath in, then you go in, then you go breath out. Okay, so it goes breath in, and then on that out breath, let your hands feel like that heavy hot stone. One more time, breath in, and then breath out. Rest your hands by your side. Push the backs of your hands, the backs of your arms and your shoulders into the mat and let go. And again, backs of your hands, your arms, backs of your shoulders and let go. Open and close the hands, trying to create gaps between all of your fingers. Then touch your finger to your thumb one at a time. Roll the backs of your hands onto the floor and let your fingers relax. And you'll notice they'll curve in towards your palm in a relaxed position. If you can, swallow. Reduce the tension into your throat and neck. If you find you clench your teeth, push your tongue just behind your teeth to the roof of your mouth. If you haven't closed your eyes now and allow the eyelids to feel heavy. And allow your eyelashes to kind of rest against your cheek. Let your cheeks soften. Let your jaw relax. Let the area around your lips and your mouth relax. Make sure that the lips are nice and soft. Think about the space underneath your eye. Let that area release. And then think about the space above your eyebrows, between your eyebrows and your hairline, making that as wide as you can. In this position, you should feel that you have a controlled position through the relaxation. Take a deep breath in. Then as you breathe out, allow your body to soften and relax. As you're lying there, I want you to start to listen for noises around your house. I know you can hear me and you can hear the music, but maybe listen to people moving around. Maybe you can hear the wind in the trees. Maybe you can hear the sea, if you're like me and you live near the sea, or cars. And tune in your hearing to the noises outside of your building. Keeping your eyes closed, try and imagine that you're looking into the far distance. If it's dark in your room, imagine that you're looking into deep dark space and that you can see the stars miles and miles and miles away from you. So your legs are relaxed and heavy. Your breathing is calm. Remember to swallow if you're having tension in your throat. And keep your breathing easy. And now I want you to imagine a small drone or helicopter, like a teeny one, sitting right next to you. And it's got a camera. And I want you to imagine that drone or little helicopter lifts just above your body. And you can see your body lying on the mat. You can see your legs are relaxed. You can see your stomach rise and fall as you're doing the breathing. Then imagine that helicopter's lifting all the way up to your ceiling. So you can see yourself in the room. You can see the space you've created around your body to let your body be at peace. Don't forget, deep breath in and that slow breath out. Then you're going to imagine that helicopter's lifting up and above your house. So you can start to see your street. Maybe there's street lights. Maybe it's dark. And then if you can, imagine that helicopter's lifting even higher. So if you're like me, maybe you can see the coastline. Maybe you can see rivers. Maybe you can see twinkling lights of cars driving around. And then think of that helicopter lifting even higher so that you can start to see maybe the whole of the county. And at the same time, you can still see yourself lying in the safe space you've created, allowing your body to relax and remain in a calm state. Take a deep breath in and then slow breath out. Think of that helicopter now flying up even higher so you can see the outline of Wales, maybe higher again, and see the whole of Europe. The camera is still focused on you, allowing that body to relax, and then slowly that helicopter is starting to come down a little bit. Imagine as it comes down, it moves around in a circle. So it spirals down slowly, coming closer, seeing the whole of the UK. I'm going to use my location. So coming in, seeing the whole of Wales, seeing the cities in the South Wales all lit up, and the darkness in the middle part of the Cambrian Mountains, where there's not much light. And then coming across the coast of Ceredigion, seeing the waves breaking gently along the shore. And then that helicopter just comes back into your house. And there you are, still lying in your safe space, controlling your breath and allowing your body to let go of tension. Remember, this is not about falling asleep. This is about controlling the tension that you hold. Take another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine that helicopter's coming down by your side and just settles down. I'm going to leave you there to just enjoy the feeling. You can stay there as long as you like. But when you come out of your relaxed state, always lie on your right hand side to begin with, to let your blood pressure come back to normal, and take your time coming up to standing. I hope you enjoyed. See you all tomorrow morning.